Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 120 of the J Situation Podcast. I'm recording this on July 5th, 2022. How you folks doing on this wonderful summer day? Man, I'm doing fantastic. I really am. Just got home from the gym, and I am super amped. Is it the pre-workout? Well, yes, it is. But also, there are a lot of things to be excited about right now. There are Liberty Precision Machine Anthem series silencer data. We're going to get into the technical discussion on today's episode. We mentioned that last week concurrently with the episode. I released that data on the same day, so today we'll talk technically. And speaking of, Alabama Arsenal, which is a YouTube channel there on the old YouTubes, they just released their video review of the Anthem series from Liberty Precision Machine this evening, actually. Right before I started recording this podcast, I saw some folks had posted about it on social media, so go check them out. You can go check them out, and those folks at Alabama Arsenal always reference PEW Science data. They've told me that they find it useful for them, and also I find the reviewer's voice calming, which is nice. He's a nice guy, I tell you what. So go check out their YouTube there. Yeah. Also, the PEW Science SCAR Project is kicking off. That's right. And did this come out of left field for you? Well, maybe it did. Does it have a place in the PEW Science pedigree? Well, of course. Yeah. So think about that. Yeah, we'll get into that today as well. PEW Science silencers. What is this? Yeah, it's a silencer world. Welcome. Yeah, you can get into silencers relatively easily. You can. And one place to do so is by visiting Silencer Shop. That's right. The J Situation Podcast is proudly sponsored by Silencer Shop. You can use their kiosk, do your fingerprints and photos electronically, and in turn, you cut down on errors and you simplify your silencer purchasing process. That's right. Money back guarantee, no transfer fees, no paperwork errors, just you and your silencer with no drama. It truly is silencer ownership simplified. That's right. And secondly, this podcast is sponsored by True Shot Gun Club out of Arizona. How do they support it? Well, it's simple. You click the link on the show notes or on the website there on pewscience.com/podcast. There's a bunch of links there, and there's also various ads on the website for True Shot Gun Club. If you click one of those links, it takes you to their site. If you buy ammo after doing so, it helps the podcast and it helps PEW Science. And if you want to join their club, their exclusive Prime membership, it's called A-Zone. It's like Amazon Prime, but for bullets. not really bullets, but cartridges, full ammunition. Although they might sell bullets, I'm not sure. I just really go there for ammo. You can join their A-Zone membership. You get free shipping for a whole year. And if you want to join that, to save you some money, use code word PEW Science at checkout. It'll give you $20 off that membership. You win, they win. You help the podcast. That's right. Hope that helps you. And lastly, and most importantly, this podcast is brought to you by PEW Science, pushing the silencer industry forward, one test at a time. Visit pewscience.com for the suppression rating. It is the simplest and the most accurate hearing safe rating for your suppressed small arm weapon systems, and it's based on true human inner ear response of the entire gunshot from before combustion takes place all the way until all the combustion is gone, and the suppression rating is in section 5 of the Silencer Sound Standard. It's going to walk you through gunshot noise, sort of like Wikipedia, but cooler because it's about silencer sound. Okay, there are 7 parts to the standard. They're all on pewscience.com for you to read. And if you haven't seen the Silencer Sound Standard, that's okay. Skip directly to section 5. That's the suppression rating. It's going to let you know how silencers stack up in comparison to one another with regard to sound at the muzzle and at the shooter's ear. And it gives you a hearing-safe dose limit for the particular platforms on which the silencers are tested, directly tied to inner ear response. If the rating is higher, it's probably going to sound better, less harsh to your ears, and lower risk for you with unprotected ears. If the rating is lower, it's probably going to sound louder, it's probably going to sound more harsh, and it's going to be a higher risk for your hearing. That's right. That's how that works. You're not going to find this information anywhere else in the world. And the 6th section of the standard contains all the reviews. They're very detailed. You say, Jay, I like the cut of your jib, sir, but you're a little intense, and frankly, your reviews scare me. I say, no problem. I understand. If that's too intense for you, you can go directly to section 7 of the standard, which is a sortable database tool. It is the ranking section there, pewscience.com/rankings. And you can sort it, filter it to your heart's content until you find something you like. Then there are links in the table that will take you back to section 6 and you can go wild. That's right. As always, if you're a manufacturer and you would like to use PEW Science for private testing and consulting services, there's a form on the website with which you can submit that inquiry. Your contact information and all test data will be held in strict confidence. Unless, of course, you want to release it to the public, in which case PEW Science can certainly help you do that. We do that all the time. In fact, we'll be talking about some of that today, the Liberty Precision Machine reviews. This is an example of just that. That's a great case study for you. You can support this podcast. You can support PEW Science. You can support all the testing I do by joining with a membership at pewscience.com. And there's also a donate feature on the review page and the podcast page. Every little bit helps. And you can donate a little bit. You can donate a lot of it, or you can donate nothing at all. That's right. And something that's free if you're not into money, which can't blame you in these trying times. You can give this podcast a good rating on iTunes or Spotify or your favorite podcast provider. And you let folks know that silencers and guns are awesome. We hope that we normalize suppressed small arms. That is the goal. And I think that would go a long way to doing that. And I think we're well on our way. Okay. I have 4 topics prepared for you today. Topic 1, Sound Signature Review 679. That's right, the Liberty Precision Machine Anthem S on 308 bolt action. Yes, technical discussion. We'll dive into that amazing data and analysis. Topic 2, Sound Signature Review 680. Oh my God, 80 reviews. It's insane. The Liberty Precision Machine Anthem K. Also on 308 bolt action, more technical discussion for the shorter version of the Anthem series. That's right. And topic 3, the PEW Science SCAR Project is underway. Boy, howdy. Already learning things. Already. We literally just got the gun last week. Already learning things. This is awesome. Topic 4. I hope everyone had a wonderful Independence Day celebration. Thanks to PEW Science members for the support. And a big welcome, actually, to 2 new corporate members. Oh my goodness, PWS Weapons Systems and Griffin Armament. That's right. That's really big news. And shout out to Orange County, Florida SWAT team there, Orange County, Florida. Big ups. Keep it real, guys. Talk about that. Okay, we're going to move into topic 1 in a time of 7 minutes. Okay, hold on. My pen is just, I have this pen from FedEx. And I just tried it. Oh, there it goes writing again. Weird. It's like totally... Man, this pen sucks. It's one of those ballpoint pens you think would work. One second. I'm not going to be able to deal with this little podcast. I'm like pen deficient right now. You know how like you get your favorite pen and you use it for something that's not writing because you can't find a tool quickly and you like pry something with it? Yeah, I do that a lot. I'm not saying I did that FedEx pen, but I might have. Topic 1 at a time of 8 minutes. In 24 seconds. Wasted a lot of time on that stupidity. Okay. Topic 1, Sound Signature Review 679, the Liberty Precision Machine Anthem S on 308 bolt action. Technical discussion. Okay, my heart rate is high. This pre-workout is intense. 1 second. Get some water. I'm just getting back into the gym after a little bit of a layoff due to an injury and some other factors. And I kind of took it easy today. And I really should. I took pre-workout per typical, which really helps me at the end of a long work day to kind of jumpstart my workout. But what I didn't realize was I'm like modifying my caloric intake right now, my diet. And so when I took that pre-workout, I didn't account for my caloric intake for the day and what was in my stomach. And so the absorption rate was pretty fast. And I don't know, I find that like right now I'm having trouble focusing. Well, I mean, I focus like a laser beam with the caffeine, but at the same time, I feel like I can see sounds. That's called synesthesia. Okay, so this silencer, the Liberty Precision Machine Anthem S, this came out of left field. Completely, really. I had actually been in communication with Liberty Precision Machine for quite some time, and they have been following the PEW Science effort closely for quite some time. And in fact, they are a company I have communicated with regularly over the past couple of years. That's right, internet silencer friend kind of stuff. My people. Yeah, I talk with them all the time, and for many years now. And this is a community in which folks wanting to discover technical silencer phenomena know each other. It's pretty cool. Like, a lot of us kind of speak, and I like that. I find the community nice for the most part, and I find that everyone is kind of in it for the awesomeness, and it's really cool. And so they had been working on silencer technology for a while. They had a 22 silencer and on the website, but they didn't have anything else. And eventually they approached PEW Science for a test program. And here we are. That's right. And so this was a PEW Science contracted test series for Liberty Precision Machine. And so after the testing and after the analysis, it became clear that they wanted me to present these results to the public. I, like everything, we talked about it. I showed them kind of what I had found, and I was like, you guys want to release this? And they're like, yeah, we do. I'm like, let's do it. It's your product. Let's do it. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're talking about today. So I'm gonna hit the S version of the silencer in this topic, and then the K version in the next topic. So chances are we're gonna cover most of the things in this first topic and just focus on what's different in the next topic. But we'll see how it goes. I have this kind of planned out what I'm gonna cover, but hey. With the amount of stimulant in my system right now, this could go off the rails at any moment, let's be honest. Now, the Anthem series is a tubeless 17.4 stainless silencer. Like the series, I mean, both of them are, the S and the K. So they're both constructed in a very similar fashion. And the baffles are advanced, and they are a hybrid. They're a hybrid steep cone with progressive geometry and efficient coaxial chamber porting, really. The S version of the silencer has excellent distal expansion volume. The expansion ratio is such that it really pays dividends at the end of the stack. And I realize right now that I'm amped up and I'm speaking extremely technically right now and a little fast, frankly. But I'm going to say this right now. This is a highly tested silencer putting to work a lot of different design elements spoken about on this podcast and used in a variety of high performance silencers, really. And so bottom line up front, 45.3 composite suppression rating on the 20-inch 308 bolt action, 33.2 at the muzzle, 44.8 at the ear. These are not rookie numbers, guys. They're not rookie numbers. No. Actually, these are significant performance metrics for the size, and I would go out on a limb to say that these silencers are next generation silencers. This is an Ultra 9 crossed with a CGS Helios QD, and put quite frankly, it's a nomad killer. Let's say it right now, it's a nomad killer. Look at it. Look at the silencer. Go Google a picture of it. See what it. Look at the features. Look at the performance. It's a nomad killer. I'm not gonna pull punches and tell you something that's not true. We're gonna talk real, like we always do on this podcast. You can see the data. It's a nomad killer. So based on what I'm seeing, that's true. And the bigger part of that is it's from a brand new company. And it's not titanium. And it's only 14.3 ounces without a mount. With the direct thread mounts, 15.9 ounces, just shy of a pound. Lighter than the Ultra 9 and shorter because it's only like 6.5 inches long. What in tarnation? It's not even 7 inches long. This is efficient. It's an efficient design envelope using textbook supersonic gas management. Okay? If I were writing a book on supersonic silencer gas flow and what to do to manage it, I could literally put the Anthem S cross-section in a chapter, annotate it, and teach a class. It's not overly simple, but it's not overly complicated. It's just right. I'm impressed. It takes a lot to impress me. I test a lot of stuff. A lot. It takes a lot to impress me. I'm impressed. But don't take my word for it. Let's look at the technical performance. Guys, I have to apologize. I know I'm amped. Like, I'm getting progressively more amped because now, like, I'm already amped because of the pre-workout, right? But now I'm amped because I'm just so amped about this topic. And it's just going to get more exciting because we have so much great things to talk about. PEW Science! You can follow along at home if you want. Sound Signature Review 679 on PEWScience.com. Scroll down to Figure 1. Here, I pulled it up just now on PEWScience.com. Yeah. Okay, PEWScience.com. I'm in the member review. I'm going to scroll all the way down to Figure 1. That's right. Okay, fingerprint. Let's bring this back. Let me get a drink of water 1 second. I got to calm down. It's only, we're 15 minutes in. I'm going to blow a gasket. 1 second. Okay. Breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay. We're getting back to baseline. Let's relax. We're gonna need to be measured because this is very complicated. So let's look at it closely. Okay, calm down, Jay. Let's do this now. Figure 1, fingerprint. This looks familiar, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. It should. If you've been following, if you're a PEW Science autist like myself, or you have been obsessed like I am with this information, this should look extremely similar to various other things. You should not see this and freak out. You should look at this and be like, I know what this is. Right away. It's Omega Zone 6, isn't it? It is. First shot, you can see it right there. Internal combustion in the silencer, bullet shock, super low amplitude jetting, builds to peak FRP, and then late onset jetting. Textbook. It's textbook quiet supersonic suppression, textbook Omega Zone 6, textbook PEW Science. That's what it is. Look, this is like the Enticer S from Diligent Defense, the Rugged Surge, the CGS Helios QD. It's doing what these silencers are doing, but it's quietest out of those. Yeah. It does the best for the human ear out of all the silencers that are close to it in Omega Zone 6. The Omega Metric. It's the most efficient silencer in Omega Zone 6, you see. And I put some specific comparisons in the article that I think are important to talk about, and I did write this down so I wouldn't forget. It's important. Now, and I will say, and it's in the review. If you scroll down past Figure 1, I'm pretty verbose, but to the point. It's like a Nomad 30 from Dead Air in size. Yeah, very similar. If you were to pick them up and hold them together, they look similar. But it significantly outperforms the Nomad on this platform. It's not a small difference. And it's quieter than the Helios QD at the muzzle on 308. Now, it's close to it at the ear, though. But it does it in a less complex way than the Helios QD does. Yeah? Which is important. And, finally, another really big, and I mentioned this earlier briefly, it's quieter at the muzzle than an Ultra 9 from Thunder Beast. When I say quiet at the muzzle, it's 1 meter left of the end cap. Standard. It's mil standard location, my friends. Nothing's changed. It's all the same. Silencer sound standard testing, mil standard, 1474 echo. That's what this is. That's all the silencer sound standard is. The proper implementation of the mil standard. And you can see that it's quieter than Ultra 9, objectively. And it's 2 inches shorter than the Ultra 9. And it's 0.6 ounces lighter than an Ultra 9. And I did I think I was going to be saying that? Like, if you asked me, like a couple months ago, you say, hey, Liberty Precision Machine, the people who make some mounts are about to make a silencer that's close in size to a Nomad and a Helios QD, and it's going to basically hit Ultra 9 levels of suppression on a 308. Excuse me. Like, if you told me that, I'd be like, that's cool. You're on drugs. Don't do drugs, stay in school. I'd say something like that. No, I wouldn't say that. I'd just be like, they might, but it's going to be challenging, I would say. And it is. And they did. And it took them a while. But they did it. And guys, the data's really clean too. It's really clean. It's really clean. And it's really correct. And that's the awesome part about all this. And look at it. Look at figure 2A. Scroll down. Look at it. Look. Look at figure 3B. Look at figure 3B. Look at figure 1. Look at the impulse in figure 4A. It's very interesting. The FRP is there, yeah. The first round pop's there, yeah. You'll hear it. You'll hear the FRP, yeah. But it's not severe to bystanders. No, it's not. And you know, it's not normal for a silencer this size at all. You know. The really interesting thing, I put this in the review, the really interesting thing is that even with the FRP, any shot in the sequence is quieter to bystanders than with a rugged surge. Even with FRP. It's crazy, man. It's quieter than Ultra 9 to bystanders. That's not normal for a silencer this size. It's not normal. At all. And I know you're like, oh my God, but its ratings are in the 40s. It's not that great. No. This thing's 6.5 inches long. Guys. 6.5 inches long. Okay? It's a pretty big deal. If you compare the signatures of the two silencers, the Anthem S and the Thunderbeast Ultra 9, the Ultra 9 takes longer to blow down, doesn't it? Yeah, that's right, it does. If you look at figure 3A in both reviews, the Ultra 9 takes way longer to vent gas out. Has higher back pressure. It's longer. Traps more gas. But the Anthem S can dump gas faster and suppress to the human ear better? Bro, what does that mean? More efficient. What does that mean? More advanced. I'm going to say something right now. Don't get too angry. You might get angry. That's fine. This is one of the death knells for conventional non-coax, non-venting silencers that don't vent to an outer annular space. Or maybe, or at least some type of extra chamber for supersonic suppression. You know, don't call it coax if you don't want to. If you want to avoid that term and call it something else to relieve pressure stagnation, do it. Fine, whatever. I don't care what you call it. You know what this is. You know what has to be done. We already know what has to be done with these silencers. We've tested them. We know how they work now. There is no mystery anymore, really. I swear, if you see, I have the cutaways right in front of me. I got 3D printed cutaways of these things. I know exactly what these look like inside, my friends. I know why these work. If you saw the inside of this, you'd know too. Okay? I mean, you guys keep seeing this, right? Like, it's not by accident. I'm not, when I go on and on about supersonic rifle suppression, I'm not joking about it, and I'm not lying about it. I'm not making things up. I've said this for the past 2 years now, and people are still not understanding that? Guys, the Nomad tries to do what the CGS stuff does, and it can't quite do it. CGS does it better. Liberty Precision Machine goes back to the simple Nomad method, and it combines it with a tried and true steep cone. Honestly, listen, and this is important. If I were a silencer designer comparing a Nomad baffle with a Liberty Precision Machine baffle, if you were to pick two out of a lineup for supersonic, high-volume gas flow, I think most silencer designers would pick the Liberty. That's what I think. Not knowing the performance. Not knowing the performance. Understand? Just a silencer designer. A good silencer designer. If they saw both of them, they'd be like, man, I like the Liberty. I think the Nomad loses out on surface area. I think that's what's happening. I think that's one of the things that's happening. I think that I think you might not be as efficient in the Nomad with annular space as you are with the Liberty. I think I think the Liberty Stack is a better mousetrap for this particular application, and I think the data reflects it. I do. And I'm really careful. I tested this. I didn't test this once, guys. I had, this is one of those cases where I was like, okay, let's do this again. Okay, let's do this again. Because when you get big deal results, I mean, no matter how much I trust this system, sometimes I'm like, man, are you kidding me right now? And I test it again and again and again and again. I know that this is getting really technical, but what I'm seeing when I look at the designs and what I'm seeing when I look at the results of this analysis, it's reflecting advanced performance. And this is an interesting conclusion that I never in a million years would have thought. I thought we would have hit so fast with a small company. I didn't think we were going to hit this yet. I get surprised every day at PEW Science, but this one, it's just so elegant when I look at it. When I look at the stack, I'm like, this could come from an advanced manufacturer that had been doing it for years. And there's characteristics that I haven't talked about that make this work right. And I might not even say them because I don't want to give away all their stuff. And he didn't tell me to hold back, but I'm going to use my best judgment. There's some I want to say mad. There's some magic to silencers. It's the part that, they're really complicated. And the design only takes you so far before you start to tweak. And there's some stuff in here that I think is slicker than... I was going to use a saying that would be vulgar. It's so slick. And I'm sorry I'm derailing this right now. I'm just looking at the cross-section of my hands. So slick. God, it's so simple, yet so not simple. I get surprised. And the Helios QD comparison is so interesting to me. The Helios QD can dump gas to its annulus with a higher flow rate. Even not being a Hyperion K, even being a Helios QD with that first expansion chamber, it can still dump gas faster. I think that might be one of the reasons why its omega metric drops compared to the Anthem S. But I tell you what, that Anthem S, it chases it at the muzzle. But the Helios QD sound field, like a lot of CGS stuff, is really great to the shooter's ear. Just the way that gas vents out, I don't know what it is. The CGS stuff at the shooter's ear really is awesome. And so when you look at these two silencers, because I think the Helios QD and the Anthem S are really good. It's a good comparison. And when you look at the two of them, they're pretty similar in performance. But the muzzle rating of this Anthem S, it's using a more traditional method and it just delivers. Okay, the sound field is just better holistically. And you see that in the composite rating. You see it in the muzzle rating. That drives that composite rating up. You see it in there. And you shoot them. Shoot them side by side in a 308 bolt gun. Promise. Alabama Arsenal did it. That's what I'm saying. Like I just said at the beginning of the podcast, like they literally released their review tonight. I'm recording this. So it'd be like the night of July 5th. Is it, did I, yeah, I was just going to say, did I say I was recording this in June? No, I said July, didn't I? Yeah, they just did. So, I mean, they know. I mean, it's pretty cool, right? And I'm actually really pleased how the composite suppression rating is sweeping out. I didn't want to do one. I told you guys that, right? I didn't want to do a composite rating. I wanted to just do muzzle and ear with PEW Science. But I think the composite rating is doing really well, and it's a really fair characterization of the sound fields holistically on weapon systems. And I think you're seeing good use of that here. You're seeing, and let's go to the rankings table so I don't butcher this. New tab. Go to rankings. Let's scroll down. I'm gonna go ahead and select ammunition, supersonic 308 only. Okay. We'll go ahead and hit overall composite suppression rating column, we'll click once, that'll sort it descending. The Hyperion is at the top. Okay, perfect. You're seeing the Anthem S hitting right below the Ultra 9 because it can't quite catch it at the shooter's ear. Can it? Can't quite catch it at the shooter's ear. But it's right above the Helios QD because the Helios QD can't quite catch the Anthem S at the muzzle, can it? What a great metric this composite rating is. Sort it. Do it. You can sort. I'm telling you. Select Supersonic 308 in the rankings table. Sort by composite ratings, descending, and look where the silencer is sitting. Okay. The Nomad TI, it's down there. The Nomad 30 first gen's way down the list next to the Hyperion K and the Silencer Co Omega. It's a big deal. The Anthem S is up with the big silencers, guys. It's up there with the big ones. It's not normal, you see. You need to understand the context, and that's why this and I know those of you who have been with PEW Science from the very beginning, you remember when we just had 2 reviews on the website. The first day I launched this, there was 2 reviews. It was the Rugged Oculus on a bolt action 22 and a semi-auto 22. There's Sound Signature Review 1 and 2. And everyone was, and I think one guy joined like the first week, and I was like, oh my God, I got a member. This is awesome. And at first everyone was like, well, that's completely different than what we've seen. And I told people we'll be patient. Well, now we have 80 reviews. On the website, very detailed. And now you see the gravity of this, don't you? And you see the context of this performance for the Liberty Precision Machine Anthem, the Anthem S. It's up in Helios QD territory, my friends. The Anthem S and the Helios QD are the silencers that can play with the big boys when the combustion gets high pressure and long duration. That's what they're doing. I guarantee you put these on Magnum rifles, they're going to sing. And the fact that the Anthem S is doing it better than the Helios QD, it's a big deal, dude. It's a big deal. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but it's enough. It's enough to make a statement. I've tested both those silencers so much too. I know these silencers now. I know the Helios QD real well. I know everything about that silencer. I know so much about that. I know more about the Helios QD than anyone in the world except for Josh Parker. I can tell you that right now. So that's how well and he designed it. So that's how well I know the CGS Helios QD, and I'm telling you, the Anthem S is hitting it. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Now, members, let me go back to the review. Yeah, click on that tab. Now, PEW Science members, it's worth reading what I say about the ears. And hold on, let me back up. When I say the Anthem S is hitting the Helios QD performance, don't get it twisted and think that the Anthem S can keep up with the Helios QD with regard to durability. That's not the same sport. Okay, you're gonna things that would make the Helios QD tickle would kill an Anthem S. I'm not saying the Anthem S is weak by any means, but the Helios QD is relatively indestructible, the Inconel version. So you keep that in mind. And there are also things that could happen with other cartridges we're not aware of right now because I need more testing with the Anthem S. But suffice to say, in the performance case we're talking about with Supersonic 308 bolt action, like your hunting rifle, centerfire, 30 caliber, Anthem S is hitting it. Okay, I just want to make sure you understand what I'm saying. Okay, now, what I was going to say, members, please look at the member review. If you're a PEW Science member, please read what I say about the ear signatures. The signature of the shooter's ear. You're really going to want to read that if you're interested in the silencer, okay? Excuse me. Okay, now, hey, let's talk omega metric. Now, if you're new to PEW Science and you don't know what the omega metric is, it is an open source. Let me say that very carefully and clearly for everyone listening in the world. The omega metric is an open source, empirically derived, expedient metric to quantify the flow restriction of silencers externally in a non-intrusive fashion. It's novel. No one has ever done it before. And the complete derivation is on the website in Research Supplement 640. It's public. It has been public since it's been published. And there is nothing, absolutely zero parts of the omega metric that's proprietary. Don't let anyone tell you that, because it's not. It's not the suppression rating. I'm talking about the omega metric. So don't let them lie to you. And you know who I'm talking about, because there's a bunch of them. Don't let them lie to you. The omega metric is public. Anyone can compute it, because anyone can measure this stuff. Okay? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the omega metric for this silencer. It's sitting in zone 6, like I said. Okay? Let's scroll down. Scroll down in the review. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. This is all in picture form too. Like this is not Wizard of Oz stuff, guys. Like especially the omega metric. It's math. It's real. It's there. It's been there. Okay, seriously. And if I sound aggressive, I am, because you need to understand this. It's important. If you scroll down, the best way to view the omega metric is on a semilog scale, on logarithmically. I only have it in figure 7 because people complain. And now you go to figure 8, it's better. Figure 8's logarithmic scale, semilog. It's sitting in zone 6. This is omega 762. Okay, it's omega 762 on a 308. It's sitting in zone 6. That's rugged surge. That's enticer S. That's thunder chicken. Stuff like that, okay? Makes sense? Now, it better be sitting in zone 6. Like, or it'd be crazy. Like if it was sitting lower, you'd be like, what? But, the fact that it's sort of sitting in the middle of zone 6 and it's still the quietest in the zone? Bruh. That's crazy. It's the quietest silencer in omega zone 6, but it's sitting in the middle of it. Word? It's wild, really. And another thing. Oh, yeah. Something else I forgot about. I forgot to tell you this. I said it in the review. But remember how Energetic Armament put a swage steel ring on their silencers, so if you broke the silencer, they could just pry off the ring with the serial number on it and like swage on a new one? Remember that? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Well, Liberty Precision Machine uses that feature under license. So yeah. So if you break this thing, let's say you go ham and you put it on a belt fed and you didn't tighten it, you shoot holes all through it. Well, if you break it like that, you can get it replaced without having to file a new form. I mean, now whether or not whatever you did to break it is covered under warranty, well, that's a different story. I'm not speaking about that. But what I'm saying is if you break it, you won't have to file a form. Now, unless, of course, you break the ring. I tell you what, though, if you break that ring apart, you and your gun are most likely broken too, and so a new silencer isn't a big deal. Because you're probably dead. Don't be dead. Now, all in all, I'm going to move on. All in all, I think this came out of nowhere, guys. The reviews are on the website. You got YouTube reviews now, too, from Alabama Arsenal. The data's there. It's been out for a week. This represents a pretty big benchmark for the size class, guys. And unless people are going to do a really tight bore on something like this, I don't know if you're going to see many silencers with performance like this in the size class on this weapon system, guys. And if people do that, the back pressure is going to ramp up if they tighten the bore. So, I mean, it's a pretty optimized system, dude. Like, I say, good job, Riley. You did a hell of a job on this, man. Because, think about the totality. You got to look at the performance in context, is what I'm trying to say. So, also, the hub mount. Universal back end. And it's 17.4 stainless. I mean, is it a go-to-war silencer? Well, probably not. You're not going to go to war with it. Will it stand up to some abuse? Oh, yeah. 17.4 stainless is no joke. Now, I mean, the cone with the Coney Road, I mean, yeah. Depending on what kind of mount, you put a brake in there. If you don't want it to erode. You know what to do. You've listened to enough of my podcasts to understand this. I mean, don't go super duper commando on it. This is not like, it's not a commando silencer, but you can certainly shoot this on a SBR 5.56. I'm gonna break it. So yeah, I think most reasonable uses will be fine. I think you should contact Liberty Precision Machine. I'm sure they've done testing. They probably put this on a bunch of guns and fire on. They know what'll happen to it. So contact them. You don't need me for that. Contact them. Okay. Hope that was informative. All right, let's move into topic 2 at a time of 40 minutes and 55 seconds. I think that's a reasonable amount of time to spend on that since we have 4 topics today. Okay, yeah. Topic 2, Sound Signature Review 680. It's the Liberty Precision Machine Anthem series, but this time the K. It's the Anthem K, and I did it on 308 bolt action. And this is, again, technical discussion. So let's talk performance. Okay, and guys, I know a lot of you use these timestamps to click, and that's fine. I would expect no less. But if you didn't listen to the previous topic, if you didn't listen to the first topic with the Anthem S, you want to go back and listen to that one first. Because I'm going to skip some stuff. Okay? Because they're the Anthem series. Okay. So I'm going to go back to pewscience.com, and I'm going to click on Sound Signature Review 680. Okay, that's the Anthem K. And again, this is the shorter version of the Anthem S. This is the Anthem K. Guys, it's almost the same, but with one less baffle. But because of that, there's some key differences in geometry and behavior, because it's not just a baffle change. Because when you take out something and you shorten it, other things kind of have to change a little bit too. And so there's some key differences in the geometry. There's some key differences in the behavior, and you get different gas dynamics. Okay, so you're in the review. Bottom line up front, 35.3 composite suppression rating. You're down 10 points from the longer version. The S version was 10 points higher composite rating. Makes sense? Okay, you dropped a category. You dropped exactly a category in suppression rating. Your muzzle rating, 18.5. That's down from 33.2. Your ear rating, 35.1. Down from 44.8. Okay, so on this gun, on the 308 20-inch bolt-action rifle, this is a deer rifle. On this deer rifle, you've dropped a category, a suppression rating category at both the muzzle and ear. In totality, you've dropped exactly a category in a 10-point drop composite rating. So what does that get you? What does that performance sacrifice get you? Well, now it's a little over 5.5 inches long, isn't it? So you lose almost an inch in length, and you lose about 2 ounces of weight. And you drop an omega zone, so you flow faster. Okay? So big picture, that's the difference between the K and the S, big picture. You drop a category of suppression, you drop a category in flow restriction, you drop an inch on length, and you drop 2 ounces of weight, you get the Anthem K. Not bad. Also, so it's shorter, lighter, more flow, but louder by a category, but also you get more first round pop. Sorry, physics. Oops. Turns out physics is a bitch. I don't want to curse, but it's a family show, but you're going to hear that on TV too. Nowadays, right? Sorry, guys. Physics is a son of a gun. Tell you what. You're going to get more first round pop. Sorry. I mean, it's an advanced design. It's not super duper rocket science, but it's pretty good rocket science. Now, if you look at figure 1, scroll down, figure 1, fingerprint, that's right. Fingerprint looks completely different than that of the Anthem S, doesn't it? Isn't that cool? You're starting to see it now. Oh, it's so great that we have this. I just love PewSoft. I just love the Silencer Sound Standard and Pew Science. I love it. I use it myself. I love this stuff, dude. This is awesome. I definitely get high on my own supply. I definitely use my own data. Look at it. Okay? It's really cool. The fingerprint in figure 1 looks different than the Anthem S. You're seeing the gas vent way faster, but not super duper faster. Yeah. You're still decoupling bullet shock from the primary blast, aren't you? Telltale sign that we're still restricting flow, just less so than the Anthem S. It only dropped 1 omega zone, guys. It's not crazy time. It flows faster, but it doesn't flow super fast, right? But now what do? You get to play. You get to play and compare with the rugged Razor 762, the rugged Radiant, the energetic Armament Vox S, the Banish 30, the Q Trash Panda. And this is Liberty Precision Machines K silencer. That's right. I actually heard some stuff in the Alabama Arsenal review that was incorrect. Alabama Arsenal, if you're listening to this, you did say something that wasn't quite true. I don't think it was on purpose. You just forgot about the Hyperion K. I think you said that the Anthem K was the quietest K silencer. Well, the Hyperion K is quieter. It is. Okay. You need to keep this in mind. This is not hitting Nomad level. But let's look at the rankings table. Section 7 rankings. It's still sorted by composite rating for me. I'll wait for you to do it. Okay, go ahead. Go to the rankings table. Supersonic 308, sort descending composite suppression rating. Now, with the Liberty Precision Machine Anthem K, you're sitting near the Otter Creek Labs PR30S. You're sitting next to the OSS HXQD762, and the Anthem K is smaller. Right? And you're beating the Banish 30. You're beating the Harvester. You're beating the Trash Panda. You're beating the Radiant. You're beating the Sandman S. You're beating the Short Rugged Surge. You're beating the Vox S. You're beating the Razor 762 on the 308 bolt action. You're beating all these silencers. You're doing it with the K silencer. But don't get it twisted. It's not a Nomad. It's not going to be as quiet as a Nomad, although it's really close. Okay. It's not Hyperion K level, although it's close. It beats at the ear, I think. No, it doesn't. No, actually. Yeah, no. It doesn't beat the Hyperion K on this gun at either the muzzle or the ear. Hyperion K is quieter than the silencer. And that's what I remember. I listened to part of the Alabama Arsenal review right before I started recording this, and he said that it was the quietest K silencer. I was like, no, I don't think so. I think he was mistaken. That must have been his. He was mistaken because it's not a Hyperion K. The Hyperion K is different than the Helios QD, and in the smaller size, it takes advantage of pure Hyperion technology, where the gas goes directly into the annulus from the first orifice, and does not have that expansion chamber like the Helios QD. So keep that in mind. The Hyperion K can do something. Now the Hyperion K is louder than the Helios QD, but when you get small, it does things very well for a small silencer. So the dead air guys, and the dead air Nomad stuff, the CGS Hyperion K, it got Liberty Precision Machine on this one. The K silencer, it had their number. It had its number. You couldn't quite catch them, and there's a reason. There's actually a reason for it. It's funny. There's actually, I know why too when I look at it. And Riley knows why too. Riley knows why. He knows what he had to do to make the K version. He just lost a little bit of performance doing it, but it still did really well. It's putting up numbers. I don't want to take anything away from the Anthem K, but I want to be objective, and I want to tell you objectively, it's not a Hyperion K and it's not a Nomad, but damn does it get close, which is pretty good. And so, yeah, I mean, look at the rankings. Look at the rankings for the length of this thing, dude. It is putting up numbers. It is. So let's go back to the review real quick. Let's go down. And since this is fine, you can go to these reviews and you can check them out. But I'm trying to make this. We have 4 topics. I don't want to get too long tonight because it's school night. And I gotta work tomorrow. And let me scroll down. Okay, figure 8. We're back at figure 8, which should be the same figure 8 that you saw in the previous review because I kind of used the same one since it's the same series. I highlighted them both in red. So you can see when you look at the omega metric, omega 762, you're sitting around the same as the Vox S. This is important with this Anthem K. The Vox, they call the Vox their S silencer. I'm like, all right, well, and they do have a Vox K. I mean, the Vox S isn't quiet, so like I don't know. When you're just objectively, it's not quiet. I'm not saying that as a dig. I'm just objectively, it's not. Like we know that. Like it's data's been out for a long time. It's not Hollywood quiet. Whatever people said about the Vox before PEW Science came, like it's not Hollywood. No one would ever describe it as that. It's not real. It's a middle of the road K silencer, really is what the Vox S is. And so this Anthem K beats the Vox S on this host weapon with regard to signature. Now you need to know this is important. Okay, so don't get all super excited about that because you need to know down in this loudness class, the class is stacked. The competition is really close down here. Okay, it's not the same as when you get up top. The performance gaps are really close down here because you can only do so much in these size envelopes. Okay, but nonetheless, you can draw these conclusions from the data, and the ranking table really, really helps now, guys. I mean, I'm telling you, section 7, pewscience.com/rankings. Guys, you really need to use it because I think some people aren't using it or something. There's links everywhere to it, guys. Come on. Use the rankings table. It's going to help you because there's a lot of data now. You're going to get confused. Okay, so use the composite and the muzzle and the ear. You can sort by all of them. Okay, you can filter it by cartridge. You can really figure this out. Now, in the review, let me scroll down and remember what I said. Yeah. Okay, so what I did is I called this thing a cross between a rugged radiant and a short surge. And I think that's and it's crazy that I said that because it truly is a short rifle silencer, and it's shorter than those. And why did I say that? Well, because it's lighter, shorter, and quieter than a short surge on this gun, and it's similar in weight and flow rate to a radiant. Okay, so remember, folks, this is a good peg point for you. And because, and I know he's talking about rugged. No, listen, like this is really important because we know a lot about this. And like, I'm a lot. This is one of the most studied performance regimes in the Silencer Sound Standard by PEW Science. Like this is like really strong data. If you don't remember, go to figure 8 and look at the omega metric semilog plot. Remember, that means that one axis is logarithmic. It's a semilog scale. The omega 762 metric of the radiant is 0.19, and the short surge is 0.25. Remember? If you go look. So you got a 0.25 for the surge, 0.19 for the radiant. Okay? You see how the radiant's going into omega zone 4 right across the line? Now, we know for a fact, forget about the omega metrics for a second. We know for a fact, a super duper double checked fact, that on a 16-inch AR-10 in 308, the radiant and the short surge have different back pressure. We know that. We verified it. PEW Science has verified it. Users have verified it. When the radiant came out, everyone was like, oh, wow, it doesn't have as high a back pressure as the rugged surge in its short configuration. The short surge and the full-size radiant, the radiant flowed faster, and they're the same size, and they were both from rugged, so we were like, oh, weird, interesting. But we all saw it on the guns. This is way before PEW Science. This is when I bought the silencers myself, using them on an AR-10 before I launched PEW Science. We knew this without measuring anything with PewSoft. PewSoft hadn't been built yet. So we already knew that the back pressure was different. You feel me? So what does that mean? It means that different weapon function is achieved between the two silencers, the short surge and the rugged radiant. And that's how sensitive that type of weapon can be on a mid-length gas. That's a mid-length gas, just for your information, that's mid-length gas, 16-inch barrel, AR-308. So when you're playing in that range, just know Omega Zone 5 and Omega Zone 4 can be noticeable for back pressure going between those zones. You have a case study right here. And those silencers were very instrumental in the creation of the Omega metric because it was so solid. The data was so damn solid. You feel me? So remember, this is Omega 762. Okay, this is directly applicable to 762 weapons. Understand? Okay, I'm just going to say that. Just pause it, rewind it, and listen to it again if you don't get it. Okay, I've said it very clearly. Now, and I think that's all I have to say about the Anthem series right now. I mean, you understand why I just talked about that back pressure, right? Like, so the Anthem K is sitting on the line between a radiant and a short surge. That should tell you all you need to know about that silencer. I just told you what it means. Okay? It's quieter. Come on, guys. You know how this works now. So again, it's a really great launch. I think it's a really great first centerfire rifle showing from Liberty Precision Machine. In my opinion, I think they hit two parts of the market, and they hit them in ways that are really, really competitive. And believe when I say, and I don't mean to patronize, when I say, oh, this is a great first launch, like I am not saying that like, oh, great first try. Like I would never say something like that. What I mean is, it's a great first launch, meaning that, oh my God, it's a great launch, period. But it's their first one. So it's like, I don't know that you could even do better as a first centerfire silencer launch. I mean, you're already coming out and wrecking shop. I mean, they hit two parts of the market, and I think they hit them in ways that are really competitive. I think the S version really speaks to an incredible performance envelope. It's just stellar. It's one of those do it all silencers. If you were into that for the platform. Okay, and you know what? I listened to Alabama Arsenal say that today. They say that in a different way than I just said it. But I agree. And I was planning on saying that same thing. I think everyone is seeing that, and I concur wholeheartedly. I think that the K silencer hits the other end where practicality might play a role. Okay, maybe those looking for a shorter platform that's absolutely hanging with the big guys. Really, I mean, you get better than Sandman S performance in a fraction of the weight and length. It's a fraction of the weight and a fraction of the length of the Sandman S. Okay, that's a big performance comparison. I put that in the review. I put that conclusion in the review. You're beating the Salmon S at the shooter's ear. You're over an inch shorter, and you're almost half a pound lighter. Okay, let me say that again. You're beating the Dead Air Sandman S with the Anthem K at the shooter's ear on a bolt gun, and you're over an inch shorter than the Sandman S, and you're almost half a pound lighter than the Sandman S. It's a pretty big deal. Okay? Now, remember, this is not hitting Hyperion K performance, but when CGS uses the Hyperion technology like they use it in the K and the full-size Hyperion, it's hard to beat that in the length and flow envelope. You're playing with, and they're getting better at that, and it's hard. So if you're even coming close to that, you're awesome, I think. I mean, that's what the data shows. I'm not saying that because, oh, Jay likes CGS, he's a shill. Okay, well, fine. But I'm not, and the data shows what it shows. So, okay? And it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, those silencers are some of the most advanced silencers in the world. And this Anthem series is right up here, and it's a great showing. It's a good showing by the Anthem K overall, and I think the short silencer division is pretty stacked. It's a stacked division, and to use a mixed martial arts term, I think the division is stacked for K cans for 30 caliber K cans. I think it's just a stacked division, and you gotta come to like brawl, and I think the Anthem K did. I think it beat it hung and beat silencers. Now it's not a Nomad, but it's smaller than Nomad is. You know what I mean? Yeah. All in all, man, I don't know. Same features as the K does. They got the serial ID ring, modular mount capability. I hope this helps, man. I hope this helps everyone listening. I hope this gives you a really good context for the performance of the two silencers. I think that's important to understand technically, especially if you're making an investment in something you really want to understand how it performs. I hope this helps. If you're looking for silencers like this, I hope it helps you. And once again, I do want to say for the record, Riley at Liberty Precision Machine, you did a fantastic job. Okay, sir? I'm speaking to you right now. You should be proud of this in a big way. I know many people in the industry are really impressed with what you've done here. And I just want to say great job, sir. You're both a gentleman and a scholar. Okay? I'm proud of you. I'm proud that you're one of my clients. And when my clients succeed, it just makes me so dang happy. All right. Man, I'm going to get emotional right now. Topic 3 at a time on 1 hour. 1 minute. And 21 seconds. Seriously, that is emotional for me, man. Like, I love we have this proving ground now. People can come. They come to the races and they race. Come one, come all. It's awesome. Okay. Oh my God. Am I even going to be able to make it through this topic? I'm so excited. Hold on. Let me get a drink of water. Oh my God. And the rifle's sitting right next to me. It's so pretty. Topic 3, the PEW Science SCAR Project is underway. Boy, howdy. Already learning stuff. This is awesome, dude. Guys. I have scar fever, and the only prescription is more scar. Boy, howdy, man. And this is important for you to understand. When this podcast is published, it will be Wednesday. Well, unless you're a time traveler and they do lurk among us, they always seem to listen to it early. But you know what happens Wednesday? My Night Force scope gets delivered. Along with another sling I bought just for this rifle. Oh, man. Guys, I used iron sights this holiday weekend with this gun. Oh, let's talk about it. Oh, my God. Let me hold it. 1 second. I got to get it. Oh, man. I got it right here. I just want to pick it up really quick. I'm going to put it right next to right here on the desk right here. Oh. No, okay. I'm gonna be too tempted to play with it. Hold on. Okay. Put it back against my paper shredder right there. I'm just looking at it. Just looking all just sitting there. Oh, it's all brown. Oh, it's got that silencer on it right now. Oh, it's so good. It's just so sweet looking, dude. SCAR. Oh my God. Mrs. PEW Science and I went outside to play on Sunday. We both shot that SCAR. Used the OSS or the Huxworks HXQD762 with the flash hider features there and the end cap there. I rattle canned it. Oh my God. 13-inch barrel, stock gas regulator. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. I put the silencer on this gun. I left the gas setting to normal. Okay. If you're familiar with the SCAR, the stock, it has a normal gas setting, has a suppressed gas setting. I put 3 rounds in the magazine. 20-round magazine. Put 3 rounds in it. 7.62 by 51 millimeter NATO M80 ball rounds. I fired at steel. Hit. Perfect. Brass ejected around 3 o'clock, maybe 2:30 or so. Okay, I said, okay. First 3 rounds from the gun, perfect. Steel hits. Ejection seemed reasonable. I said, okay. Not super overgassed or anything. I thought, hey, let me try something. I've shot a SCAR before with an OSS. I know what'll happen. Let me see if this will run on the suppressed setting, even though the silencer is on the cusp of Omega 762 Zone 1. That's right. Remember figure 8 from the review in the previous topic we just talked about, the Anthem series? If you look at figure 8, or you look at, I put the latest chart in Public Research Supplement 640, the Omega metric, Omega 762, directly applicable to the SCAR. Omega 762, the HXQD 762 has an Omega metric of Omega 762 metric of 0.05. That's on the cusp of zone 1 and 2. What is zone 1 and 2? Let me take a detour. Let me look. I have the review back up. Look at table 2 in the review. It's the Omega zone descriptions. Zone 1, from 0 to 0.05. Omega 762. In the third column of the table, postulated potential qualitative functional influence on semi-automatic or automatic weapon systems. And what do I say for zone 1? I say normal function. Normal function. That means it basically functions unsuppressed. Zone 2 rarely affects function. Okay, so what is the HXQD 762? Well, it's on the cusp of zone 1 and 2. Well, guess what? Guess what? We're in validation country, my friend. Guess what? Guess. Well, I put the gun on the suppress setting. Guess what happened? Well, we know this Sanser has an Omega metric of a vented Helios QD, but it's higher than a short radiant or SAM-NK. We know it has some flow restriction. Okay, so it has more flow restriction than unsuppressed. Guess what? I put the gun on the suppressed setting, loaded 5 rounds into the mag. Ejection pattern moved 4 to 430, give or take. Bolt locked back on the empty mag. Interesting. The plot thickens. Keep in mind, there's a factory 13-inch CQC barrel on the SCAR there. Is it a little overgas from the factory? Maybe. Well, possibly. Maybe. But shorter dwell time than the 16-inch. Yeah? Remember, what about a SCAR? How does a SCAR work? Is a SCAR an AR? No. It's not an AR. Well, how does a SCAR work? Short stroke gas piston. Where's that gas block? Always at the end of the receiver, no matter what, no matter what, no matter what, no matter what. That SCAR, no matter what barrel length you have on your SCAR 17, the gas block's in the same place every time. It has to be. That's the way the SCAR works. SCAR doesn't have gas system dwell time or gas system length variability, does it? No, it doesn't. It can't. The SCAR has a fixed gas system, no matter what barrel you put on it. So what happens when you put a 13-inch barrel on a SCAR instead of a 16-inch? Well, the gas system length is the same, but your dwell time just got shorter. What does that do for a silencer? Makes it super great. How do you know that? Well, PEW Science. We've been talking about it for 2 years. Cool. Why do you like 11.5-inch mid-length gas on the Stoner system on the AR-15? Short dwell time. How do you get close to that on a 7.62 weapon with a SCAR? Go to 13-inch barrel instead of 16. Cool. Now, shorter dwell time than the 16-inch barrel with a 13-inch, but gas box is in the same place, but barrel length is 3 inches shorter, but SCAR uses gas adjustment screws with different size orifices. Now, we will get into this technically. I will talk about this later. I'm not going to go super deep right now on this, but you need to know the way the SCAR system gas regulator works. It has a switch. It has a vent orifice on the front. It has two orifice holes on the bottom. They allow gas to go from the barrel gas port through a sized set screw gas port, and the SCAR community calls this a gas jet. Why do they call it a jet? Because they treat it like a carburetor. It's not really the right term, but they call it a gas jet. It's really a gas orifice screw. Those orifice sizes on the 16-inch barrel and the 13-inch barrel are different. Why? Well, the gun has different dwell time. So they use different size ports. In fact, I think I haven't measured mine, but I took a screenshot the other day or something. Hold on, I'll pull up my phone. Just now, hold on a second. Pictures. Shoot, where is it? Okay. I don't know if this is right. This is from a forum I saw. So on the SCAR 17, the 17S, it said, and this could be wrong, but I can verify this later. But so don't take this as gospel, but take it as a peg point. The 16-inch factory barrel for the SCAR 17S has a 1.45 millimeter gas jet size, and the 13-inch factory barrel has a 1.6. Why would that be? Why would you have a larger gas port size? Okay, let me back up. You know how everyone talks about changing their gas port size on an AR-15, and you use that? How do you do that? You use an adjustable gas block, or you change your barrel, right? How do you do it on a SCAR? Well, you can change the gas port orifice size with an insert. But you didn't. If you're not familiar with the SCAR, but you didn't know that. That's how you adjust gas on a SCAR. Well, you have a switch that goes from suppressed to unsuppressed, but you also have the gas jet size. So you can change the port size and you can change the switch. And we'll talk about later what I'm going to do this even more than that. Okay, so now you understand, and if you don't, because I'm all over the place, it's fine. You'll learn it eventually. Now you understand what the difference is between an SBR SCAR 17 and a 16-inch SCAR 17. The only reason that a SCAR 17 16 inches exists is because 16 inches is the arbitrary ATF length for SBR cutoff. You do not want a 16-inch SCAR 17. You want a 13-inch SCAR 17. Your dwell time is way too long in the 16-inch. It's stupid. As soon as you get one, either have it cut down or buy the 13-inch factory barrel. Okay. I'm being pretty aggressive with that. That's not true. You can tune the 16-inch, but you know what you want to do. Now, I changed nothing except for the barrel on this gun. Okay? The systems are different, but I changed nothing. I just changed the barrel. The regulator switch, the OSS or the HuxWorks, I just went from normal full open to suppressed setting. Now, the $1 million question is, you should be asking, well, Jay, damn it, the next logical step was to shoot the gun without the silencer attached and see if it would cycle in the suppressed setting unsuppressed. I didn't do it. You're like, what? Yeah, I didn't do it. Okay, here in my defense, listen. Okay, this is like the maiden voyage of this gun. It was a holiday weekend. We weren't testing. Me and my girl went out with the dog. We're gonna go play. We're gonna go shoot. I didn't really get a testing protocol situated. I was like, I'm gonna shoot this gun at steel with this silencer. And honestly, I left it on the unsuppressed setting because I was like, it's an OSS, whatever. I'm not even going to adjust the gas. But when it ejected at 3 o'clock to 2:30, I was like, I wonder. And my curiosity got the best of me. I turned the gas setting down to suppressed, and then it still worked, but it ejected less forcefully, and the recoil impulse got softer. And I was like, okay, I like that. So what happened at that point? Well, the silencer was already hot. Because this is 13-inch 308, so I'm already heating up the silencer, right? I am exercising the HXQD. How does the HXQD work? Well, it's robbing heat from that flow, isn't it? That's the way that OSS silencers work. That silencer was getting hot, which means it's working. So I was like, okay, I am not going to try to take the silencer off the gun right now. I actually didn't have I had some gloves in the cab of my truck, and I was like, I just want to shoot. I was getting so psyched from shooting it. I was like, I'm just going to shoot. So I didn't shoot it unsuppressed. So my SCAR 17, the PEW Science test apparatus, has not been shot unsuppressed. Okay? We were enjoying it. It was the initial outing. I decided just to ring steel with it, and that I did. In fact, I did and Mrs. PEW Science did. We both rang steel. We shot at 100 yards, easy peasy, lemon squeezy with iron sights. We went to 150, easy peasy. We were shooting. This gun is so easy to shoot. The recoil was less on the suppressed setting, okay, which makes sense, right? We shot 60 rounds, 60 ball rounds. That's 3 full mags of 308. The SCAR 308 magazines hold 20 rounds. So we thought we shot 3 mags. Okay, this isn't rapid fire flat range. This is 60 rounds at 150 yards to get familiar with the gun. That's not a ton of rounds, but we had other stuff to do, and we were out there having fun, and we were both watching each other shoot. We were critiquing each other. We were listening to it in the far field. We were focused on feeling the gun and getting used to it. I thought 60 rounds was a pretty good pretty good first outing with it. It's basic weapon familiarization. Like I said last podcast, I've shot the SCAR 17 suppressed. I had experience with the OSS in their inner sanctum at their test lab. We went through that, but this was real world. Okay, this was real. This is battle rifle shooting outside at steel, elevation change, not super far. I mean, 150 yards is nothing for a battle rifle, but this is iron sights, basic weapon familiarization. And I can tell you, the gun's light, dude, and it's easy to shoot, and it recoils softly. And here's a good example. And if for those of you who haven't shot a SCAR, and I realize not a lot of you have, because this is not a super common weapon. This is not an AR, and these are not cheap. It's very rare for someone to have shot a SCAR 17, and it's very rare for someone to have shot a suppressed SCAR 17, frankly. Okay? Now, it is much, and I cannot underscore the word much enough. It is much more pleasant to shoot than my 308 bolt action fix from Q. That has a 16-inch barrel. It is way more pleasant to shoot than the fix. It's not even the same sport, guys. And the fix is my current hunting rifle. With like a Swarovski Z8i scope on it. That fix is decked out. Okay, with both guns suppressed. This gun is the SCAR is way softer shooting than the fix. Let me tell you, I put the Geisley Super SCAR trigger in the SCAR. What do you think the difference is between that trigger and the fixed trigger? As a fixed user, I can tell you the Super SCAR trigger in the SCAR 17 runs circles around the Q-Fix trigger. The Q-Fix trigger is too heavy, and you can't adjust it. It's a single stage, and it sucks. Well, it's actually, I guess it's technically a two-stage in the fix, but it's like really... No, the fixed trigger is not that great. I mean, it's okay. It's crisp. Don't get me wrong. The fixed trigger is crisp, but it's way too heavy for what it should be, and it is not adjustable. So, I'm just telling you, objectively, this is not a dig at Q. Do not politicize this. This is real experience, and I've killed a lot of living things with a fix in the field, and I've huffed it. I mean, I've carried the fix for a long way on foot. It's a light gun. It's perfect. It's a great hunting rifle. It's a perfect weight for a hunting rifle. It's a capable hunting rifle. Not pleasant to shoot. And the SCAR 17 with a 13-inch barrel, the stock FN 13-inch CQC configuration. It's not heavy, dude. And the silencer adds some weight and length. So you have to think about that. But guys, it's not that heavy. And I know I don't have the scope on it yet, so it's going to increase the weight. But I mean, the cool thing about the semi-auto, especially the SCAR, that bolt carrier, dude, it really takes a lot of the momentum. It gets to move rearward. The recoil spring helps it too, guys. You're taking the energy. It's pretty great. And this is short stroke gas piston with a big old bolt carrier. And the piston, the way it works, I can't wait to show you all about this rifle. I am so excited. Just from an engineering perspective, it's really impressive. The piston is in contact with the carrier at rest. It starts moving. That piston is being pushed by gas impulse. Okay? It has to overcome the inertia of that heavy carrier, all the while compressing that spring. So if you have that SCAR dialed in, that is, if it's not overgassed, bro. Okay? If it's not overgassed. And when I say not overgassed, I mean not excessively gassed. And I don't really know what that means yet, 100%. We're going to play with the SCAR. This is just the PEW Science SCAR project kicking off, but it's not an AR. It's a piston gun, and what I'm telling you, it's not like a normal piston gun. Really, man, if you have it dialed in, bro, look, listen, the OSS or the Huxworks, it's not going to overgas your SCAR as much as the other silencers, and we know that due to the omega metric, right? We know that due to the omega metric. Okay, now the gun's super soft shooting. I can tell you. That's subjective, but I'm telling you. With a 13-inch barrel on the suppressed gas regulator setting with the OSS silencer, this is a puppy dog. Now, I know I'm speaking with big words and generalities. There are things that are going on in this system. And FN, if you're listening, this is kind of for you. And owners of the SCAR, this is for you. There are things going on in the system. Gas flow is one. Flow restriction, it's one thing. But there might be other dynamics at play. Okay? Very complex, actually. And this is not something that YouTubers are telling you about or even FN. There might be some other things going on, and as the PEW Science SCAR project continues, we will explore some technical details of the system, and we will be using PewSoft, and we might also use some other tools in conjunction with PewSoft, and they might be integrated with PewSoft. Okay, it will be an adventure. Okay, now I'm going to talk about some other features of the gun. I don't want to turn this into like a gun review, but we're kicking this off, and I'm just so excited about this, and there's a reason I am, and I want to tell you what I'm doing so you can just hear about it. I think it's cool. So how is the gun currently configured? And because it's not, I haven't published anything with it yet. You know how I published the Mark 18 and I listed what the configuration is. Well, let me tell you how I currently have this configured. Okay, so 13-inch stock barrel from FN. What does that mean? Well, it means the gas jet size is what it is from the factory. You can change that, but it's in the same location as the other barrel, the factory barrel that came with it, that was 16-inch. You understand? Okay. And if you don't know what a SCAR looks like, look at a SCAR. And by the way, I'm going to post a picture with this podcast of this weapon with the 16-inch barrel that came with it outside of the gun with a 13-inch barrel installed. Look at the lake difference. Look how I have it aligned. You'll see what I mean, Jelly Bean. Okay. 13-inch barrel. Kinetic Development Group M-Lock rail with added Picatinny stub from a grip pod. Baller. Balling out of control. Grip pod's important. It's awesome. OSS HXQD 762. Rattle canned. So is written. Geisley Super SCAR trigger. Okay, let me look at the rifle. Yeah, and iron sights that came with the SCAR, which are exceptional. I don't think I can say that enough. The iron sights on the SCAR are exceptional. The rear sight is exceptional. It's so good. Do not get rid of those sights. I mean, you might take them off if you have a good scope that can't fit them. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that Night Force. I don't know what's going to happen with the height. I might keep them on there. I don't know. I want to be able to I think the mount I'm getting with the Night Force is a Night Force mount. It doesn't have QD release, so I think it has I'd have to untorque the knobs. So I don't know that I can rip the scope off it really quick if my optic fails, which if a Night Force attacker fails, we've got bigger problems. But yeah, that's what I have so far. Tomorrow or Wednesday when you're listening to this, Future J is going to be taking the Night Force, is it attacker? Whatever that acronym, whatever you say that, the Night Force Attacker 1-8 scope, got that. I don't need a ton of mag for what I'm doing with the gun, so I'm gonna use the gun for a lot more than silencer testing, actually, because I am going to get super familiar with the system, and that I have to, in order to truly understand a gun. I have a lot of experience with ARs, so I really understood it before I started using it as test apparatus, but The only way to truly understand what makes it tick and to give you the best data possible, I think I have to really sink my teeth into it. So, because I'm not as familiar with the SCAR. And so The AR-15 and AR-10, I'm super familiar with. So soon, it's not going to take me long. Soon I'll be super familiar with the SCAR, and so will you. The scope is real, and I always feel like it's best to start with the 308 gun than the 5.56. I think that 308 highlights problems faster, and I think it's whether it's a silencer or a gun. I think 308 is. I always think it's good to start big. It highlights problems, and so yeah, this will be great. The scope that I bought is robust. We may run into issues. Excuse me. We may run into issues in which the forward recoil impulse. That means the bolt carrier mass coming forward. It's pretty significant. So we might run into issues if certain silencers do certain things to the gun. The Night Force should deal with that, but I'm just telling you, like, when people say the SCAR breaks optics, it's not really the SCAR breaking optics. What it is the user not having their SCAR adjusted properly. And things breaking because of that, typically. Now, if you know someone has like a normally adjusted SCAR and is not suppressed, and I don't know. Maybe it was overgas from the factory. Maybe the SCAR did break something, but I would say if the SCAR is properly adjusted, I don't think you should break much. So yeah. Also, I've always wanted a Night Force attacker. So I'll tell you about that scope too. Like, I've always wanted one of those, and I was like, you know what? Treat yourself. That's right. Also, I back ordered a 10-position gas regulator. I believe I talked about this last episode. It's called a SCARburator. Yesterday, I back ordered a second one. I want to make sure I have a spare, just in case I break it, which I very well could. You never know. And also, I might get a 5.56 SCAR. I don't know. I might. I almost bought one. I was like, I'm not gonna buy one yet. Let me focus on this one because I'll get distracted. But I'm that impressed. I'm that impressed with the SCAR platform so far, and I'm sure you guys are going to have a lot of questions. But this is just my intro, and I hope you find this informative. Stay tuned. This is the PEW Science SCAR Project. Okay. Topic 4 at a time of 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 24 seconds. Oh, it's a long one today, isn't it? Okay, but I hope you all had a wonderful Independence Day celebration. Thank you so much to all the PEW Science members for your support. Big welcome to 2 new corporate members. This is huge. PWS Weapon Systems and Griffin Armament. And shout out to Orange County, Florida SWAT team. It's awesome. So yeah, guys, speaking of things that came out of left field, Liberty Precision Machine, PEW Science SCAR Project, and now PWS Weapon Systems and Griffin Armament. That's a big deal, guys. So PWS has been around a while. They make piston ARs. Okay, I've been told by many, many people to check them out. It's serendipity that it looks like I'll have an opportunity to do that sometime. PWS is actually wanting to do some work with PEW Science as a client. So in addition to being a corporate member of the effort, they're wanting to engage PEW Science additionally. So please stay tuned. I really can't talk about anything regarding those efforts until later, but I will say stay tuned. Okay. Now, Griffin, that's a big deal. The good old Hearing Protection LLC. Yeah, that's right. That's actually Griffin Armament. That's their company back in the day. I remember when they started. I've been in the silencer game for as long as they've been in existence, and I've been around for every product released from that company. And so really pleased they have thrown their hat in the ring to support the effort. Historically, I would call this a pretty big deal. To me, it does mean something when a company puts their money where their mouth is. That's frank. I'm just being frank with you. Because they're doing that, and despite any of your opinion about that, this helps consumers, and it helps the industry as a whole. Okay? So that's the reality. So despite any of your opinion, this helps you directly. And so that's pretty cool. Okay. And it's not that much money for a company to join. I kept it low for them. It's like, what? It's $99.95 a month for a company to join with an advanced membership. Multi-million-dollar company. Come on. I kept it cheap because I wanted it to be a no-brainer for the industry. You can see who supports and who doesn't. I mean, it's not a money thing, guys. Come on. So yeah. So thank you, Evan and Austin. That means a lot. I do appreciate it, and I'm glad to have you as part of the effort. That really means a lot. That it helps. It helps more than you know. And I think that the consumer response was pretty positive to that. So I thought that was cool. I thought that was really cool. Okay, and lastly in this topic, I wanted to give a shout out to the SWAT team in Orange County, Florida. I got some department swag from you guys, and it means a lot. You guys sent me a challenge coin. It's really cool. It's really cool. It's like something we used to do in the military. It looks like they do that in law enforcement too. That's cool. And they sent me their team patch. I think that's pretty symbolic. It's pretty nice. They sent me the stuff in the mail, and I helped them out with some technical information for their fielded systems. A couple weeks back, I was helping them, and you know, that was really fun. I really enjoy helping people, and I guess they sent me this stuff as a thank you, and so thank you guys for that. That's awesome. You know, helping end users is the name of the game. That's what PEW Science is all about. You know, helping consumers, helping military, helping law enforcement. That's really cool. It's really cool that you guys found the information helpful, and so thank you so much for these keepsakes. I'm a treasure that. I'm honored by that. So I really appreciate that. So thank you for listening, everyone. A lot of information in this episode. I think I talked really fast. It's about an hour and a half long. That's a lot of information, but I hope you found it useful, and I hope you have a good rest of your week. Okay, I will talk with you folks again soon. Okay, bye.